quarterback, but we weren't necessarily seeing it clearly, not in his rookie season, and we know why. And it took a little while for the clutch gene to click in, but it is clear that this guy is what he has been bragging about himself. It is that he can come through, that when he gets into clutch moments, he doesn't get nervous, that he makes the big play. I mean, that run for a touchdown, the old Caleb would have thrown the ball into harm's way and not taken the God-given ability that he has to run that football in. And so that's part of the clutch gene, is taking the game into your own on your own shoulders and getting it done. Like Michael Jordan.
I'll be right back. Keep cooking, Aldo. Be right back. Keep cooking.
You got it. Just like Michael Jordan would do in the fourth quarter games, he says, hell with the triangle. This is my game. I'm going to get it done. And that's what Caleb did today, and he has done it in the past, and we're going to continue to see this. Now, people are going to say, it's against a terrible Giants defense. You know what? He's getting it done at the NFL level, and the competition will get harder down the road, but he's now got the experience of having it done. Plus, take into account that his receivers let him down today with multiple drops. I counted 6 drops by Bears wide receivers. Did he sulk? No. He said, I'm going to put this team on my shoulders and I'm going to take them to victory. That's got to impress anyone, even the people still calling for Tyson Bagent. Screw those people.
Yeah, so CJ, what do you think about the game today, man? Like, we're constantly seeing growth from Caleb Williams, man. And we're looking at Caleb to be the guy that could be the equalizer, right? Although, like, the great equalizer, like, everything could be going wrong around you as a quarterback. But if you're the number 1 overall pick, it has to mean something, right? Yes, it really has to mean something. So the fact that he's starting to show what he really could be under Ben Johnson, this is what the Chicago Bears have been waiting for a very, very, very long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm just impressed by the win. I'm just impressed by it. And I know the press conference is going to be good. So Aldo, whatever you want to say anything, man, I appreciate it. Whatever you want to say. Like, this is more like an instant reaction type of thing.
I got you, brother.
I'm just impressed, man. I'm just impressed.
I'm impressed. I'm happy. I think Chicago Bears fans should be happy, and I think we need to kind of take the approach with this team that we have a baby, a beautiful baby, born big, born tough looking, and it is quickly growing into an adolescent that can kick anybody's ass at the schoolyard, a young adult that is impressing all the girls and so forth, and will soon be a full-fledged man kicking ass in bars, getting things done on the football field, doing it all. That's my analogy for what's going on with the Chicago Bears team. Have a little bit more patience. This team reminds me a hell of a lot like the team Mike Ditka coached in 1984, the one that was knocking on the door, and then in 1985 they tore down that door and won a Super Bowl, unlike any other team had ever won a championship in any sport.
Yeah, it's we've seen it all, man. We're seeing a young man that's getting ready to take over Chicago. We're seeing it, man. I was privileged enough to see Michael Jordan in the 90s as a young man. I was privileged enough to see Derrick Rose in his prime before he got hurt. I was privileged enough to see Urlacher and Briggs and Brown and all those guys and Jay Cutler when he was good. But it's time to see another ascension of a Chicago athlete to take us to the next level. And I think that's Caleb Williams. And I really, really believe that, because as much as we get on him about him being inaccurate, about him being moody, about him being, temperamental, he's starting to change the narrative on that. You know what I mean? And it's like the structure around him is making him a better quarterback and a better person. Because if we looked at Ben Johnson, we all see Ben Johnson's on the sideline. His nerves are calm. He's not freaking out. He's not huffing and puffing. So tell me, how does that permeate in a locker room, man?
Yeah, I think that he gives this confidence to all the players, and they've talked about it in interviews that they look to him and they see his confidence, and clearly Caleb is now mirroring that Ben Johnson type confidence. Caleb has said the best thing that's ever happened to me is getting Ben Johnson to be my head coach, and that is so true, because this guy has a particular set of skills, as the
Right.
movie quote goes, and he will find you and he will kill you.
He will find you and kill you. He will find
That's
you and
right.
kill you.
And
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Dennis Allen and the Bears defense. Yes, they did not have a good day. Yes, there were obvious mistakes by this defense. But as I posted on my X account, we can't expect this defense to play at an elite level when you are starting guys like Noel Sewell, when you are giving significant snaps to a guy you just acquired, Joe Tryon Slowinka, when you are giving snaps to other players who are clearly not starters and arguably are not second stringers. This is a decimated Chicago Bears defense. Yes, they still have some of their stars, but if you're going to tell me that TJ Edwards was not sorely missed today, then I don't know what to tell you. You might have to learn the game of football, because TJ Edwards was missed and Sewell had to play all these snaps and he made a bunch of mistakes. But this defense, Neshaun Wright drops an interception. I don't think Jalen Johnson would drop it or Kyler Gordon would drop it.
Right.
On and on. There were examples of the Bears defense failing, but for the most part, those guys that made mistakes were not the real starters of the Chicago Bears. So they fought, and when Russell came into the game, I said, "Oh my God, thank you. You are with me." I love Russell. I love Russell in his prime, but he is far from that now.
Yeah, he's not all of that. And we got some comments. I don't want you to see which ones you want to take. I'm just gonna read them, a couple of them. And we got Swank Daddy in here, man. What's going on,
Swank Daddy?
CJ Johnson, 2 sacks. Yeah, he was big. We got Bella Wilson saying, well, I was off by 1 catch. Love to have 4 catches and a few nice blocks. Yes. Right now, some people hating on Caleb 18, wanting to be Superman to save the day. Caleb 18, the clutch gene, 6 effing drops. Although 6 drops.
That's ridiculous, man. And I feel bad for OZ, because I have a lot of confidence in the veteran OZ, but he had a terrible day, man. He must have been served some bad sushi last night or something, because his head was not in the game. Those are catches he makes routinely. And I got a quick comment, the comment about CJ and his 2 sacks. That to me is another, and I love the image you got there of Dennis Allen. That to me is another kudo for Dennis Allen. He knows this player. He knows that he can control this player, and the fact that he sometimes, gets a little too aggressive on the football field. And he brings him in here and he puts him immediately into the slot position, and he gives us 2 sacks in his second game. And we probably have not seen nothing yet. This guy's going to play even better as the season goes on.
Yeah, CJ Gardner coming in right away off the street, man, from Jules or Mariano's, wherever you're at in the city, man. He came right off the street and had an impact, bro. And for a secondary that's pretty much been depleted of all the guys, whether it's Terrell Smith, whether it's Jalen Johnson, whether it's Kyler Gordon, to get this guy at this moment in the season right now, although was pretty much the best move we probably could have made outside of a pass rush. Do you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. When you're building a team for sustained success, you have to be very careful that you don't make acquisitions or trades for guys who are going to disrupt your salary cap, who are going to change things dramatically. And if that player gets injured or doesn't play, the whole Chase Claypool thing, you don't want that to happen again. That's how Ryan Pace general managed this team. And we don't want Ryan Poles to become Ryan Pace. The reason we got rid of Poles is because he kept trying to get the Band-Aid done so he could win titles and save his job. Poles has the confidence of this administration, and I think that he should continue to play the cards close to himself, make smart moves, and then when the team is ready, really, really ready to knock down that door, then you can take chances with acquisitions and trading draft assets.
Yeah, because I was reading on Twitter that but they had that Ben Johnson pretty much telling him don't go overboard for a guy in the trade market right now. So can you just speak on the relationship that you think that Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles are developing at this point? Because a lot of us are watching it as fans. We don't really know what's going on the inside. We don't know who's making the picks. A lot of times we don't really know what's going on in the war room. But the fact that these two are working together and we're coming out with wins, what do you think about their relationship going forward, and what do you think about just Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles in general? Like, do you think that? No, go ahead, please.
I was, I've been critical of Ryan Poles. I agreed with the approach that he took to rebuilding the team. Get rid of the old players and fix the salary cap and start to build during the draft. But I was critical of some of the selections that he made in the draft and some of the pro personnel decisions that were made. Obviously, the best decision Ryan Poles has made is hunting for Ben Johnson and landing that. I think a lot of times it's the GM and head coach form a partnership where the head coach is now better because of what the GM does, and the GM is better because of what the head coach does. And so from the information I've gotten from Greg Gabriel, who has some insider knowledge as to what's going on at Hallis Hall, this relationship between Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles is super solid. And I do agree that this next upcoming draft is going to be one of the most fascinating ones for the Chicago Bears, because the synchronicity between head coach and general manager is going to be so tight, so solid, that you're going to see some moves, some transactions made that are going to propel this team from a good or very good team to a great team. I truly believe that.
Yeah, and I agree. I just think that winning solves all things, right? Like winning solves everything, man. Like when you're winning, everything is good. When you're losing, it's the worst thing that could be possibly happening. You know what I mean? So the fact that we're actually turning out wins, we're learning how to win ugly. We're beating who's ever on our schedule, which is very, very important at this moment in time because you're still a young team. It's just really impressive that we're winning games that we should win, and we're growing in games that we should win. And we all pretty much have been hard on Ryan Poles, and myself included, because a lot of times I think he doesn't do well in the early rounds and and everything like that. He just Ben is up.
Make it to the end was Hippolyte. He had a knee, so I told the guys in the locker room a minute ago, it really feels like I'm on repeat here. Just these guys are finding a way to fight until the end and win these games. And so once again, not our prettiest game. We had a number of things go on, and drops on offense, and just we weren't playing consistent or efficient football on that side. And then defensively, we had a couple explosives. They doubled up on us at halftime there with the field goal before the half, and then the touchdown out at halftime. And it's easy to feel the momentum swing in their favor, and yet our guys didn't waver. They stayed consistent with it and fought until the end. Give their guys a lot of credit. That's a really good defensive front. I thought they came out and competed. And made it really challenging for us on offense. And I think this quarterback that they have is going to be a really good player for a long time as well. So, credit to our guys for fighting through there at the end and coming away with one. So go ahead and open it up from there.
And the drops offensively, did you see consistent problems as far as causing that?
No, if it had been popping up in the course of practice or something like that, I'd be more concerned. But as of right now, I think it's an anomaly and something that, we'll certainly talk about and address. But I don't think that's really who we are.
When you guys signed CJ, there's a lot of question marks and uncertainty about how that's going to go. And to have him come out and just be a total playmaker the first 2 weeks, what do you think that has done for you guys and for him in that locker room?
Well, I would say this. I gave him one of the game balls, and he kind of alluded to it. You get football taken away from you, which he felt like last couple months that's his story. And now he's here with a bunch of guys rooting for him, and he's grateful for the opportunity. And so it gives you just a greater sense of appreciation. And so he's always been a phenomenal football player. I think he's found a good home here in Chicago. Our guys are gravitating towards his swagger, his playmaking ability. I think he's quickly becoming one of us. So certainly not surprised by his performance. I've seen it for a long time now.
How impressed the way that Caleb made plays with his feet in the fourth quarter, especially?
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, he looks like a Houdini back there in the backfield because, like I said, that's a really good pass rushing front that they've given a lot of teams fits. I think Burns is leading the NFL in sacks, and so there are times where he's trying to escape and making some things happen. He had a couple throws down the field, but like you said, over 50 yards again rushing for the second week in a row. And I thought in the fourth quarter there, we really needed that as a shot in the arm to end up winning that ball game. So credit to him.
And how do you weigh the finish, the strong finish, versus putting yourself in that position in the first place?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's. I feel like that's happened a few times for us now, and the good news about it is our guys are starting to. I shouldn't say starting to. They have this belief that we're going to find a way. In the fourth quarter, provided it's somewhat close, we're going to find a way to come out on top of this thing. And
that's right.
It's week in and week out. They're proving that. Now we'd like to take it to the next step as a football team to where we're up by a score or two in the fourth quarter early on, and we can shut the teams out that way. But that's hopefully next week. We'll take them as they come. But once again, we found a way to win, and that's the most important thing.
You talked about wanting to be at your best by December, and you said the last couple of games, this hasn't been your best performance, but to be 6-3 despite that, to have that much headway in the standings, what do you think that gives you as far as an opportunity as you're trying to fix things?
Yeah, well, I mean, I see improvement. I can tell you just offensively, this was you talk about playing clean football. I know we made a number of mistakes, and the drops certainly popped up, but 3 for 4 in the red zone. We only had 3 penalties as a team here this week. Those are 2 areas that have really plagued us. Our red zone defense was we held them 1 for 4, and so I do see us still getting better each and every week, even though it might not look that way when you're necessarily watching the game. There's growth. There's growth each and every week right now. So you're right. We got to continue to get better. We got some really good opponents coming up here, and we will be playing our best football in December.
It seems in those moments of improvisation that Caleb seems to be at his strongest. How do you balance allowing him to have that room to improvise, but also staying within the system that you
and so that's the more time we spend together. We watch the tape, and we go over every play in practice, every play in the game, and he and I are seeing it exactly the same. And so he knows when he should step up and try to just dump the ball down to a check down right away. I thought he did that a couple times here today, and then other times where the rush is on him pretty quick, and he's got to do something special. And so that's the unique thing about his skill set is he's got that ability. As a play caller, certainly helps me out because I don't feel like I need to be perfect with these play calls. Like he's gonna make these things right. And so that's the balance, that's the trust that we have as a quarterback and a play caller.
And do you have a package of play calls for those kind of do or die drives? And do you also notice that Caleb's intensity levels up in those situations?
I don't notice anything different about him. I think he's been locked in probably. This week in particular was probably his best week of preparation, just as a whole, from start to finish. And so I feel like he was locked in from the moment I saw him this morning up until that last drive. And so I think he's doing a good job with all that. But I mean, there are certain plays that we have for certain situations, but more often than not, I'm thinking players instead of those particular plays. Who can we get this ball to that's going to come through for us?
Was there a more concerted effort to get Rome the ball today?
We always have a concerted effort to get Rome the ball, to get DJ the ball, to get Luther the ball, to get OZ. It's all these guys. They all have plays, and so each and every week, Colston, Cole, all these guys, they deserve a chance to have the ball in their hands.
You guys' defense will have bigger challenges than this coming ahead. How do you see the defense getting better?
Every week changes. I do think, CJ's presence, he's going to continue to get better within this scheme. Hopefully we'll get TJ back at some point up front. I think I got to take a look at how Book did today. But like I said, Sweat's really been coming on since the bye week. I can feel his presence out there. Mm-hmm. And then maybe we'll get some reinforcements in the back end at some point as well. So I think we're going to be just fine. Each week's its own story. I keep saying that. So just because we play well one week doesn't mean it carries over. Just because we play poorly one week doesn't mean that carries over either. So end of the day, we just need to continue to find ways to win.
Does CJ kind of bring that kind of emotional intensity that Kyler did, or do you have a number of guys in the defense that does that?
Shoot, I haven't been around Kyler a whole lot yet. He's been dinged up, and so I can't speak to that. But no, I listen. I love what CJ brings to the table right now. You feel him out there. He's a football player. He loves to be competing, and he finds himself around the ball quite a bit. And so I think we all appreciate that.
What do you think of DJ playing through the injury, and how bad is that?
DJ is Wolverine.
Unknown yet, but he's doing. He'll do everything he can. I think we got a bunch of selfless guys on offense right now that, like I said, they're going to do whatever they can to be out on the field for their buddies. So, thank you.
All right, man. That was a good press conference. Caleb Williams will be coming to the mic soon here. That'll be fun to hear him too.
Yeah, and I just want to ask you, Aldo, I'm the type of person that I believe that the great quarterbacks, can make the offensive coordinator, the play caller look great. And Ben spoke on it, I don't have to be perfect on these plays. He's putting the responsibility on his franchise quarterback to say, hey, look, I don't have to do everything for you. I'm not always going to make everything easy for you, and everything that I call is not always going to be great. You're going to have to come out here and just make do. So what do you think about him saying that? And actually in the press conference, which is a theory that I thought the greatest coaches sometimes, play callers, they got that great quarterback that can make something happen, man. And I love that he spoke on that.
Yeah, I'm glad that he brought that out too, because it is true. It's not just what Caleb can do with his athleticism. A play breaks down because the defense that Ben was hoping for when he called that play isn't being played, but it's also Caleb changing plays and making adjustments at the line of scrimmage. So it's brain and brawn with Caleb Williams. He's got the athleticism to make something happen when the defense that was expected to be played isn't there, and he's learning more about reading defenses pre-snap and post-snap to make the adjustments. So that is huge. And when he says, when we watched the tape together, when he and Caleb, Ben Johnson and Caleb watched the tape together, that's just music to my ears, because I truly like Ben Johnson a lot. Not only as a head coach, but his philosophy, his approach to the game, his smarts. I mean, the whole package is there with Ben Johnson, and Caleb really needed that. We were a little tough on Ryan Poles, and for Ryan Poles to expose Caleb Williams to Matt Eberflus was a cardinal sin, but he's corrected it, so we're moving on. But, right. It could have really damaged Caleb in a way that Justin Fields was damaged too, because I truly believe that Justin could be a top quality quarterback in the NFL if the foundation was set in his rookie season with good coaching, good personnel around him, a good offensive line, et cetera, et cetera.
Because you make me think that something I spoke on, and I'm glad I got you in here for the first time, is that I always felt that Caleb Williams, you got to get to him early before the bad habits actually begin to develop. You know what I mean? You have to get somebody in here now before he's just completely trying to play hero ball, survival ball, back football. I'm gonna do what I want. They got Ben Johnson at the perfect time to make sure any bad habits Caleb is going to have can pretty much get erased or out-coached out of him. And I think that's something that, speak to your point, that Justin Fields didn't necessarily get. And I understand what you're saying about the foundation has to be set. It has to be in place for a young quarterback to thrive in. And the things that Ben Johnson brings along with him outside of his scheme is he's very decisive. He's very upfront. He's very blunt. He's very analytical. He's very in your face. And I think it's all those things, and it's no excuses with him. So I think all those things that are coming along for Caleb Williams, whether it's the wide receivers, whether it's the tight ends and the quarterback coach and JT Barrett, and we're seeing a whole form of coaching and stability for a quarterback that a lot of us never haven't got the privilege to see. You know what I mean, Aldo?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. This entire coaching staff on both sides of the football, we could talk about special teams a little later, but on both sides of the football are A-plus coaches, great teachers, great people. They get along with their players really well. And then the one thing that I want to, as you were mentioning, we all have played football. Most of us, 99% or more of the people watching this show, we've all played sports, and we've all had moments, and some of us more than others, where we wanted the ball and wanted to attack. And I remember playing basketball.
Me.
Exactly. Give me the ball. And then driving to the basket when there's three guys in the basket. And I want to be the hero, not because I want to be the hero. No, I want to be the hero. And then after a while, you start to learn, you know what? Those guys are being drawn to me. Pass it outside and then go hit the boards in case there's a missed shot. It's that type of mentality that pro players have still. And when you got a coaching staff that's coaching that mentality out of the players, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, that's a great thing to have. And I think we're seeing that. We're in the process of seeing that with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, because, when you're a young team and a lot of guys are not established, like DJ established, monetarily he's established, Montez Sweat is established. Like a lot of these guys are pretty much established. So, they got things to prove, but, the younger guys want to prove themselves too. So it's a fine balance. Like everybody can't be the main guy every play. The thing is about everybody got to win, because we saw last week, and I'm going to bring this up because I wanted to speak on Rome and I want to get your opinion on Rome today, because I pretty much picked him as my offensive MVP today.
Awesome.
Because I thought he blocked real well last week. I thought he was actually focused this week and he was catching way more passes. He was part of the game and he was being featured. So it just goes to show you, thinking about Rome and talking about Rome, that Ben is going to make sure guys are doing what they need to do at all times, right? Like you got to block. Okay, here's Caleb right here.
Awesome.
What's been the method or the practice that has allowed you all to do this consistently?
I would say just the understanding of this is a National Football League, and we have a great offense, great defense, and great special teams and great coaches. And so the confidence in us and the confidence in the coaches in those moments is there. And I think that shows in those moments. Defense shutting people down in those moments towards the end of the game, not allowing them to go down and drive and, kick a field goal or whatever. Well, they need to score at the end. And, I think for offensively, it shows the calmness. Obviously, it wasn't our best game on offense, and the calmness at the end of the game, the belief, the faith, the hope, and like I've spoke about before, living in the know. I think that's where we were, and we knew that it was going to be a full 60-minute game, and that's what it took.
On the winning touchdown run, what's the original intent of that play, and then take us to your different?
Yeah, it was a naked keeper, and once I booted around, I saw that Cole got taken by, I think, a corner. And then, from there, I didn't see a backer. And so I felt the grass to be able to just keep it and go. And obviously having Cole in front of me helped. And Cole made a great block for us.
Awesome.
And just took it up the sideline and scored.
When you're down 10 and you kick off down the sideline, and they get you down at the 2, like we're having a hard time kind of catching your breath there.
Yeah, that was a long run.
Calling play at the line of scrimmage, what's going through your head, and knowing that kind of in a scramble situation in Baltimore, you had something similar, didn't go great?
Yeah, score, get the ball in the end zone. That was the only focus, only goal. It didn't matter how tired, how fresh, how any of that. It was score. Be able to get the defense back on the field and have them go stop, which they did, and then allow us to go back out there and have a game-winning drive.
When you're breathing heavily and tired and all of that, how do you calm yourself down?
A few deep breaths, and then from there it's you kind of let the moment take over and understand where you are, and you focus and revert back onto your training and things like that.
Your ability to avoid pass rushers, especially in the backfield. I think Ben called you Houdini. Mm-hmm. Is that something you've always been able to do? How much is that as natural as it instincts? How do you describe your ability to do that?
I'd say some of it's instincts. I think some of it's lifting and training. I think the other part of it is visualizing those moments that, the defender's leverage and things like that, and being able to take advantage of his leverage. And then other than that, it's just being smart at those moments. If it's time to throw the ball away or dirt it, anything like that, dirt it. If it's not, and I can make a play, go make a play for this team and, do whatever I need from there. But, I think it's those couple things that I do, throughout the week, throughout the year, visualizing those moments.
You talked about living in the know and your confidence in these late game situations that you guys can get it done. And what does it mean for you guys, and what does it do for you emotionally when you do come through, you do get these wins, and you have these winning moments?
Yeah, I've said it a couple times now that it does build confidence that we can. It doesn't matter how the deficit we're at. It doesn't matter how much we're up. It doesn't matter what happened throughout the game, that, we can come through as a team. And that's what we did today. But we would like to start figuring out as a team, putting up points, stopping them, putting up points, stopping them, putting up points, stopping them, and, getting to the point where we're just kind of marching down the field, defense is stopping them. We're putting up a lot of points and winning these games a little bit earlier than we are these past couple games.
Caleb, how do you make sense of this offense? You struggle for 3.5 quarters.
Yep.
Turn it on at the end. How do you know kind of what's real and what's not?
Yeah, we know who we are. We know we're real. We know that some of the issues we had today were just may have been a drop here, may have been a drop there in certain moments, and it's those are frustrating moments. But it's something that those moments happen, and so you don't waver, you don't lose the confidence. You stay right where you are. You understand that those moments are going to happen. You keep trying to lead your guys, and then from there, when it hits, you just keep harping on that. Here we go. We had a few drops towards the end, and you don't put those guys down. You don't go over and curse them out or anything like that. You encourage them that it's time to make a play, and I need y'all. I need y'all right here, right now. It's time to go in the game.
Scramble down to the 2.
Yep.
That's what quarterback said.
There you go.
Yep. It's time to go make a play. Time to go win a game. And that was kind of my mindset coming out of second half.
Caleb, that you hit Colston on extended play.
Yep.
What did you see on the throw? And then obviously makes a pretty nice catch.
Yeah. They dropped back. Had a bunch of time. Guys were all over the place, getting knocked off routes or anything like that. So it was just time to go make a play. Colston, our relationship is building, and he kind of knew where he was in the zone, and just settled down for me and made a great catch, and turned it upfield, got a first down for us.
At the end.
At
the end, what did you see in terms of him being able to?
Yeah, I saw him rotate down right before the snap, and in that moment I knew it was one-on-one over there with Lou, and as Lewis said, it's when he gets the ball in his hands and he's one-on-one, he's pretty dangerous. And so have full belief. It's something that we've been throwing for. I think we've had it up for about 3 weeks now, and so just felt confident in that moment. And felt confident in him. He ran a great route, made a great catch, and got a few yards after.
Okay, when CJ got that when Deshaun recovered, how much of a momentum swing was that, and what was going through your mind in that moment?
Yeah, let's go put up some points. Let's try and score. Let's keep this momentum going. I think we need to do a better job. Just when those moments happen, when they get a turnover on downs, when they get a turnover, any of those moments, just go out there, score, put up points. It's a big momentum shift when those can happen and those moments happen. And I think we've done a solid job, but we can always be better.
You told us before the bye week after that Raiders win that when you get into a minute mode, your heart rate drops, you get calm. Have you ever actually tracked what your heart rate is in those moments?
I haven't. I don't actually know how to track it or not a
feeling.
Yeah, I can feel my body just kind of settle down, and I think that's important for me when I'm out there in those moments, but also the calmness, demeanor of when I'm in the huddle, looking at those guys in the eyes, and the belief, the faith. Like I said, living in the known in those moments, it provides a certain level of confidence for us to be able to go out there and deliver.
Go ahead. Okay, I'm sorry. I asked Ben to that point if you have kind of a different level of intensity doing do a drive.
Me or Ben?
No, you. And he said that he felt like you were locked in since this morning.
I've been. Yeah. No, I feel that I had a good solid week of prep, and I felt confident going into this game, seeing the defense and things like that, and I think that's just the whole game was that, and we gotta find ways to make plays as a team, as a collective. Get the dirty yards, make the big explosive plays that were there. But just speaking on myself, I felt that I was, locked in throughout the whole game. Just trying to focus on, keeping the guys in the game and trying to go in the game.
Third and goal pass to Rome.
Yep.
Do you have an option to hand off there?
Yeah. So they end up going. I believe it was. I got to go back and watch, but they rotated down on the right side. They would have too many people in the box, too many men in the box, and so that was the read to throw it out to Rome, and the DB ended up cutting off Rome on his route, and so just threw it out of bounds. But there is an pass option on that. But when they get too many people in the box, it negates that part of it, and you throw a fade. Awesome. The Bears.
Thanks, Bears.
My man.
My man Caleb, man. And although he said a lot of things up there, but the main thing I kept hearing was pretty much is that, a lot of muscle memory, a lot of the same thing. Throw it for the check down, take what's there. And we were all asking, especially me, like, I just want my quarterback to play in structure. Like, when I saw Caleb Williams, I said, you know what, he's very talented, but he seems like a wild Mustang. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta put that boundaries around that talent. You gotta put structure around that talent. Like, so the fact that he's getting the structure that he needs right now, he can speak on that week in and week out, because he's pretty much starting to say the same thing. Take what the defense give me and the check down and throw it this way. Like, that lets me know that he's really learning and paying attention and understanding what it is to play meaningful football and winning football, right?
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. What we are seeing is real-time progression from Caleb Williams, not only on what he's doing on the football field, but who he is as a quarterback. And I would dare say, too, as a man. Life lessons are often learned in athletics. And so I would bet that he is just becoming a better dude because of what's around him and the teachings that he is absorbing from people. Get it, guys. I gave in a Packer fan in the household war.
He posted, Andy, what's up? Shout out to Andy, man, NFL. He posted came on here with you, man, but he was like, my son is being wild. I said, tell your son to bear down, even though he's a Packer fan. Tell him to bear down, man.
Well, his son was probably super excited about the Bears, so you can excuse that. But having a Packer fan in your house while you're watching a Bears game, that's
your son's a Packer fan.
Are you kidding me?
You gotta get him, Aldo. You gotta get him for that, man. How'd that happen, Andy?
We're gonna have a talking to him, man. That's awesome. But yeah, I feel, I can be an emotional guy, and I just get emotional when I see a team coming together, when the camaraderie, when the life of the individuals on that team is accelerating, and they're going from being rookies to being pros and stuff. All that stuff is wonderful for me, and I'm really getting a kick out of this season. It's one of my favorite seasons in my many years of watching the Bears play.
Yeah, me too, man. Shout out to J2K that's in here. He's saying better on everybody. What a clutch win by Clutch Caleb. Keith, shout out to Keith Luce, political reporter, we're posting screen with. Appreciate you, man, and I appreciate the follow. We got Nicholas right here said the moves will be made next draft. In my eyes, Ben and Poles will have a better grasp on this Bears team. Yeah, I think
Jimmy, let me ask you a quick question. So let's say the draft, we end up, either making the playoffs, an early exit, or something like that, right? And the draft is the next day. Where are you putting your focus? Are you putting it on the left tackle, or are you putting it on a defensive line, or somewhere else?
I will put it on the defensive line. That's probably the weakest skill group that we have right now. The linebackers are pretty much good. Outside of injury, the secondary, we know what that is when everybody's healthy. Caleb Gordon, Jalen Johnson, Jaquan Brisker, Kevin Byard, now Gardner. I would think it's the defensive line, because I don't know what Javon Dexter's doing most of the time. Grady Jerry, what is he really doing? Dio, a crazy contract that I didn't think we needed to rush and get him. Montez Sweat, he's playing better. But if I'm putting my money on what I've been seeing recently the last couple of weeks, it's a pass rush. Like, we're playing against teams that shouldn't be putting up numbers against us. We had Flacco almost 500 yards. We had Jackson Dart today looking like he was going to get 400 yards. So, and we're going against teams in the next few games in this gauntlet that are good quarterbacks. Whether that's old Aaron Rodgers, whether that's J.J. McCarthy, who I like, he has a little poise to him, whether that's Jared Goff. You know what I mean? We're playing against quarterbacks that you have to get off their square and off their mechanics for you to pressure them. So if we don't get a pass rush, although, to fix this defensive line, we're going to have a problem. So I'm going defense.
I'm 100% with you. I'm hunting for a premier pass rusher. And, the Bears are probably going to draft in the late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, maybe late 20s. And whatever it takes to move up and hunt for that premier pass rusher, because I think this team needs a superstar as a pass rusher. You know, we've got good players, and Montez is a good player, but he's never been a double-digit sack guy. He's been a guy who is really good. Yeah, there you go. He's been a guy that sets the edge, who gets you 9-10 sacks a season. We need a pass rusher who can get us consistently double-digit sacks in a season. And if one is not there, then at least a pass rusher, an interior pass rusher who's going to crush that pocket and force that quarterback to go outside so that Montez can pick up some more freebie sacks.
Yeah, and we got Andy, and he said, "Yeah, I feel we live in Wisconsin, LOL." And I think he's going about. He said, "Why am I more excited for a Vikings loss than a bad JJ McCarthy game?" Because that's what we want, baby. We want the Vikings to lose, the Lions to lose, the Packers to lose. Man, it's a very crowded NFC North. Although we're 6-3, our playoff chances had to jump to like 49-50% at this point. But people are responding to your question about the defense. She said edge, Bella. We need defensive line, especially defensive ends. We don't have pass rush. It's crazy. He said G Walker on the money. But he says he likes the development of Booker. So
yeah, he had a good first quarter, and then I didn't see him again. I saw him on the field, but I didn't see him do anything special.
Yeah, because you're starting to see a little bit of that magic, like some timely stuff out of Booker and Sweat. Like it's not consistent, but you can dream and think bigger about how you want your defense. Like, man, if we can get a guy that's better than Booker that can go with Montez, because that'll be what we need, man. So I think it's edge rusher, man. We got Bella again. I mean, that's kind of mean for you to say that Jared Goff is better than Joe Flacco when numbers just don't support that. I don't know if I said he was better than anyone.
Somebody
I said
in the chat did.
Yeah, because all I said was we're playing against good quarterbacks, and we need a defensive pass rush in this draft to beat these quarterbacks that we're playing in the last 6 games that are pretty good. So, with that being said, although, can I interrupt a second? I apologize. No problem.
Here's one thought that I have. You know, we're 0-2 against division foes. And one of the many things Mike Ditka taught me while he was coach of the Chicago Bears is you got to dominate your division if you're going to be a really good team. So now, starting next week, we got the Minnesota Vikings. We got to avenge that week 1 loss because we were destined to win that game, but we blew it in the second half when our defense faltered and allowed McCarthy to have a tremendous 1 quarter, and he was named player of the week. So we got to go to Minnesota and kick their ass, and then the remaining division games, 2 against the Packers and 1 more against the Lions. We got to dominate those and finish the year 4-2 in the division. If that happens, I don't care what else happens. I am going to feel so effing encouraged about this team going into the offseason. Let's beat everybody up in our division, and things will fall in place.
Yeah, and I agree. And we got do it once or twice is luck, maybe. But what Caleb 18 did today was skill and talent. Put some respect on his name. Shout out to my guy Nicholas. Yeah, you got to start putting respect on Caleb's name. Although I mean, he's not throwing interceptions. He's not an interception risky quarterback. And I said sometimes it looks like some quarterbacks that's a rare skill set that they don't throw interceptions. That's from Detroit Lions and come be a part of our team if you're trying to go for quarterback. Like I needed because we saw what Jared Goff was doing in that last playoff game. So it's smart that Ben Johnson came to a team that he's looked at a young quarterback that doesn't really throw the ball and he can protect the ball. So I just think it's time to give Caleb Williams his flowers, man. The talent is starting to really pop for me personally. He protects the ball. He's learning what to do when it's time to be money. Like I call the pass he threw to Colston Loveland. Money on the what I say, dime, money on the dime line.
I love it. I love it. And the rest of the guys, you know, the young guys on this team. Listen, Colston Loveland wasn't used much, but late in the second half, they started throwing to him. He caught all 4 of the balls that were thrown his way. Luther Burden was 3 out of 3, had 3 passes thrown his way. He caught all 3, and all 3 were big plays. Those guys, you know, are the future of this team. No offense to DJ, and Rome, of course, is part of the future too. But I was so happy to see those guys making big plays. Ozzy is a valuable veteran. He's done some good things for this team that we haven't seen, and what he does in practice and what he does in the locker room. The guy is super smart and knows, and he's helping all the receivers in that wide receiver room dissect defenses. So he's incredible. But the play that we saw today is something that we shouldn't count on, particularly when we have pass catchers like Loveland and Burden who aren't seeing as many targets that they should be seeing. So, there's good news there. And so I'm sure Ben Johnson is going to make the necessary alterations. And so I'm sure people are also saying, well, how come Luther wasn't used earlier? Why come Colson wasn't used earlier? You know what he has said? It's all about practice. You got to practice well in order to get the snaps. And maybe OZ had a tremendous week of practice, and so he was being rewarded by having his number called more often. We don't know that. Maybe the media will ask that this week. But the one thing for certain is that Burden and Loveland are proving themselves that when their number is called, they're going to come through for us.
Yeah, man, and that's very well said because it's very timely too. It's just very timely. And every time we see Luther Burden, he does something. Like he does something. He catches the ball and he's good after the run. He gets a yak. He's a yak god, man. It just seems like how are you going to keep him off the field? He's already become a fan favorite to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And when you produce him like that, and you can get open like that, and you can catch like that, you're making it hard for Ben Johnson to say that you're just a rookie. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be on my team, and you're producing rookie or not. He has to get those looks at some packages in their form for him to get open, right?
Yep, indeed. And I got a shout out for Mananga. He didn't have the huge day like he did last year, but he did score that first touchdown for the Chicago Bears. And I just see something special in this kid. There's been a lot of comparisons to him and Ashton Genty, and I think that's unfair because Genty truly is, from an athletic standpoint, a superior athlete to just about almost like 99% of the running backs in the league. But Mananga, this guy, number 25, for the first time ever, he has me thinking, you know what? A Mananga jersey on my back, because I don't buy rookie jerseys because I want them to prove themselves. But this guy has proven himself to me that he's like a David Montgomery, plays with a lot of heart, a lot of soul, a lot of toughness, and that to me is Chicago Bears football.
No, man, you're right, man. He doesn't fumble. He has good balance after contact. He gets those in between the tackle yards. It doesn't seem like he's going to be hurt anytime soon. We got to knock on wood for that. It's just that you want to see a guy that could come in. You can have that thunder and lightning, peanut butter and jelly. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Sonic and Knuckles, your own version of that, of what they got at the Detroit Lions. Because I think that's a very, very beneficial thing for any quarterback is to have a great run game. You know what I mean? A great run game where your quarterback keeps him fresh, keeps his arm loose. It just really benefits everybody on the team. So the fact that this young man right here is looking like a 7th round gem, although 7th round gem is looking like we got us something really special here, man. The next
that will excuse all of the 3rd round flops that both was drafted, right? Picking up a guy on 7th round like Mananga.
Yeah. We got a couple comments say this is great stuff. Shout out to Andy, man. He said he hasn't fumbled since high school. Yeah, we got Nicholas, and I think Ben caught up in the stand with a vet with Swift over Kyle. But yes, Kyle needs more touches. I just think you got to earn it, man. At the end of the day, you got to earn it. No matter where you were drafted at, and that's something that Ben established a long time ago. And I remember his very first press conference. He told Caleb Williams to his face, "Look, man, I like you. I think you're great, but guess what? It's going to take more than you to win this game." So Ben Johnson's been setting the tone for every single player here that nobody's above the team. It's been one band, one sound, and the most important thing is the win. Mananga, man, I think he's going to be that 7th round jewel that the Kansas City Chiefs had got in Pacheco that we got here in Chicago, man. Like for real, it's pretty dope to see, man. It really is. Yeah, it's just really cool. Really, really cool to see. So, and Ben Johnson, look, man, my guy. Look, my guy, man. He'll tell you to shut the F up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. just real quick, two of the hardest things in football when you're evaluating talent is the head coach. It's hard to get a great head coach, and I think we got one. And quarterback position is very hard to evaluate, and I think we got a great one. So we should be thanking the good Lord for and this guy too. Oh my gosh, Darnell Wright is playing like one of the best right tackles in football. Penny Sewell, I don't know. Watch out, Darnell Wright is coming after you.
Yeah, Darnell Wright has been playing lights out, man. He said Darnell Wright with a pancake on number 0. Need to see that on the Pancake Report. Shout out to my boy down to live. The Pancake Report, if you haven't seen it, although it's just me and Alan, we just do the best pancakes and blocks. I don't know if you saw it.
I'll be checking it
I think
out.
I tagged you in. No, maybe I did, but it's just the best the blocks and pushing guys away. That's what we do. So he's talking about that. So he's going to be on the Pancake Report. I think we can improve and cause problems forward. Yeah, I mean, it's all about improvement. It's all about development. It's all about culture. And it's all about, although to be honest, getting the best talent to get around Caleb Williams before he's due for a damn contract. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely.
Like, he only got a couple, maybe like another year before we really have to start talking about paying Caleb Williams, man.
Yep,
so
indeed.
I think the front office doesn't have the luxury to not execute in the offseason to get playmakers and to pick up the right draft picks, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're quickly going to head into an era where you can't miss on your draft picks because it's going to be difficult to sign high-priced free agents when Caleb starts getting paid. And so it's those young guys that you're drafting or that you're acquiring via free agency, undrafted free agency, what have you, that have to deliver and have to be integral parts of the team because it's there are some teams that are really good at managing the cap and they. How can the Eagles afford to pick up this dude when they have so much money? But they do.
So much money.
So hopefully the Bears will get there. But traditionally, when so much money is going to your QB, you got to draft well and you got to hit on those picks because that's going to be a big part of the nucleus of the team.
Look, we're coming up on an hour right now, man, and that's usually everybody knows me about anything about me. I don't like to go past hour on any content, man. I like to get in here and get out and not waste people's time, man, and really appreciate Aldo coming in here. Talked to him last week, see if he wanted to come on the show, man, and he did. He said, I can't wait. And he got great energy, man. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, man, so to have you on my platform right now, it's like a dream come true, man. So,
well, I appreciate that. And I got to shout you out, too, because the content you and your channel are doling out here is fantastic. And I like to shine a light on the new voices from Bears podcasters and so forth. And I just caught up with your work this year. It's fantastic. Had you on one of our shows. We're going to have you on again. And so really, really appreciate what you are doing for Bears fans, educating us, keeping us on the straight and, straight and narrow, I guess the expression is. The work that you guys are doing is fantastic. Kudos to you and all your partners on this endeavor. Great job, brother.
Appreciate that. So, with Aldo, before we get out of here, man, just tell the people where they can find you at, man. Then we're gonna finish this thing, man.
Absolutely. You can find me on X at Barroom Network, and we have fresh programming almost every day this week. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Central, Greg Gabriel, who used to be the scouting director for the Chicago Bears, helped draft Devin Hester and some of the greats from that area. He's on a campaign now to get Olin into the Hall of Fame because he saw firsthand how great of a center Olin Kreutz is. Anyway, he will be on at 11 a.m. And then on Tuesday, we've got another great show, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and so forth. So if you follow us at Barroom Network or follow the Barroom Network on YouTube, you will get updates whenever we go live. But again, my man G. Walker, great job, brother. Really appreciate you.
All right, and we appreciate. So one shout out from Dine and Live who came in here, Nicholas who came in here, Nicholas.
Pete Watts, J2K.
Well, I gotta find J2K. Where's J2K? Swing Daddy. J2K, where you at, man? Where you at? I can't find. We got Travis Mitchell, pretty much saying a win is a win, but don't put yourself in that position. You have an NFL kicker. Trust him or cut him. You should have tried for 3 twice in the first half. Hard to disagree with that. Tyrone, appreciate you. There goes J2K, my dog, man. He's always popping up in here. J2K, man. Straight 2K Designs. He does a lot of work. Let me speak on J2K. He does a lot of work for Chicago Bears content creators, man, for free. He's very good. He's worked with. Has he worked with you all though?
He's been on our shows and stuff. He's never provided artwork, but the guy is super talented. Plus, he's also a great evaluator of talent, and I think he's has or will soon open up his own YouTube channel, looking at players that might suit the Chicago Bears. So keep an eye out for J2K's work.
And follow J2K on Twitter right there. You see his tag right there. He's on YouTube watching the post game though. And who else we got? We got Keith. Shout out to Keith for coming in the show, man. Bella for coming into the show. Luke's the reporter. Appreciate the follow. Andy, NFL Outdated. We're gonna get up out of here, man. This is Aldo from Ballroom Network. I'm G Walker from the CNG Podcast. It's CJ from the CNG Podcast. We will be back Tuesday or Wednesday with our NFL All 22.
Awesome.
I'm G. Man, we out of here. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Peace.